work and rework your hair with the UK's #1 styling product, VO5 Extreme Style Rework. Break the mold.
I don't know whether it's the time of year or the fact that I've been playing so much in the way of RPG and sandbox titles lately, but I have really been itching for a top-notch shooter. Enter Gears of War 2. Who would have thought that ridiculously oversized men wielding ridiculously oversized chainsaws could bring so much joy to the world? It's kind of like a less creepy version of Santa. If I had to sum this up in one word, that word would actually be mature. Yes, it's still in the same niche with its over-the-top, slightly silly, cheesy action hero premise, characters and script, but everything has been taken to a new level to create something that is at the pinnacle of its evolution. The awesome cover and shoot play mechanic that made Gears 1 such a success is still the core of this game, but now it feels even smoother to control, and a lot more thought has gone into an overall choreography, with changes in pace, tension, tactics and objectives, making the whole experience much more dynamic. There are vehicle sections and even bits of puzzling and platforming thrown in, but there's still a real cohesion to things, and it works. There's also a lot more variety in location, which keeps things visually interesting and shows off the updated graphics nicely, as well as perhaps changing your tactical approach. Nice new weapons include a flamethrower and mortar gun, and you also now have portable cover in the form of a deployable shield, and in a comically morbid twist, the bodies of fallen Locust, which you can now grab for just this purpose. And in a nod to the gruesome aesthetics favoured by the fuck yeah generation, your moveset now also includes some finishers and chainsaw dueling. As well as all this shiny, the setting has been taken from the action skirmishing genre to full-on epic, complete with bombastic music, rousing battle speeches, and more fights against bigger and badder forces. You thought the Brumak was tough? Here they come at you in packs. The narrative and character elements have also been deepened somewhat, with an emotional focus on Dom's search for his lost wife. But fear not, Gears 2 manages to do this while staying true to its core spirit. It never tries to be something that it's not, and as a result, it manages to be mature rather than pretentious. There are a few little niggles. You do still occasionally stick to the wrong bit of cover, and it's annoying to have to go into cover before leaping over something, but in general the controls feel great. Men who aren't wearing armour can look a little mutated, but most everything else looks awesome. With the exception of one or two barely noticeable dropped frames, it ran incredibly smoothly. My biggest complaint is the opening. A lot of gamers want instant gratification, especially from shooters, so designers really need to make sure that they punch you between the eyes with a heady dose of awesome right from the get-go. The establishing cutscene did just that, but instantly grated because it was a dose of awesome lifted straight out of Lord of the Rings, complete with Galadriel-esque voiceover and Jackson-esque camera work, including the crow's eye camera through Isengard. Even some of the musical motifs used throughout were reminiscent of Howard Shore's themes.
He fought an endless battle against itself, until it was forced to unite against a power far greater than it had ever known.
But hey, if they did borrow, at least they borrowed from the best, and it does look good and set the scene well, even if it does stick out like a hobbit in a man pub. The other issue is that even if you skip the tutorial, the first mini-level feels like it came straight out of Gears 1. And while it's nice to get the chance to reacclimate yourself, you will feel unchallenged and slightly underwhelmed until you hit the next level. The only other irritation was that for a game whose golden rule is get in cover or die, it annoyed the crap out of me that Phoenix could only talk on his comm while standing up. Get down, you boob!
Roger that.
Anyway, aside from the kick-ass campaign, which you can play solo or with drop-in co-op, the multiplayer has been fleshed out massively and should be a real contender for your online time. The use of environmental hazards like avalanches or razor hail in certain maps is really imaginative and puts a new twist on things, adds the tweaks to standard modes like Submission, which is basically capture the flag, except that the flag is alive and armed and doesn't want to be captured. There's also Horde, which is an awesome co-op multiplayer mode where up to 5 of you must pit yourselves against 50 waves of ever more difficult Locust. Very addictive. In short, Gears 2 is balls to the wall, yeah awesome, and you should buy it. 5 stars.